Yo, what's good? Another recap. No trades for me today. In general, I thought the higher time frame idea that I had was pretty good. I just couldn't capitalize on it. I don't think there was anything really to capitalize on via the model that I trade. I mean, again, that's what these reviews are for. So we'll just dig into it and just see. So again, we're coming out of this monthly fair value gap. If you're just kind of looking at the moments of a key level, we're in the midst of sweeping out this low in the monthly fair value gap. So we're getting a stop hunt, and we've got some sort of a change in the state. So again, that's just the idea of being in the monthly is, an idea that we might go higher. We've also got this low resistance all up here leading up to this unmitigated 4 hours. So truly for the day, this unmitigated 4 hour was my main DOL, and this devil's mark / kind of equal lows was just kind of in the back of my mind, just to consider, because if we were to kind of start moving lower and kind of disrespecting bullish fair value gaps, then I would probably look to trade towards that. Prior to open, again, if we look at the 2 hour, we're disrespecting bearish fair value gaps, and then we're respecting bullish. So again, order flow is telling me that we're probably confirmed to these highs up here, which is really, I think, a brilliant idea. Like, you see the accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So again, that's what I was looking for. I was in, so Jesus, I can't speak today. Again, I was on the charts for a full hour and a half watching this pump without any entry for me. So again, that's why I'm probably a bit fried. And I'm moving this quite a lot, I realize, but it's just a fidgeting thing. At open, I realized that we had this 2 hour fair value gap in the making. So again, I was a little just looking for better structure, better kind of, accumulation, manipulation, distribution in line with the 930 power of 3. I was just making sure everything was in line, because this was going to be formed at my stop loss by 10 a.m. So I was just keeping that in the back of my mind. But while that was forming, I did have two main key levels that I wanted to get hit. Ideally, the hourly that had been created, because this one was in the creation. So, here, and then look for the model within that. But I also didn't mind this 30-minute, because again, I do realize that the 1 hour, with how aggressively we're displacing higher, might be a bit far to reach for. So I was happy, again, if structure and the model lower time frame, we've got LOR to target, things like that. Just no kind of discretional, the structure is not too good, but I believe it's going higher type trades. I wanted something perfect from this 30-minute especially. And in the 1 hour, probably would have been a little bit less picky. But again, with the 2 hour forming at the stop loss, it's always good to just be wary. But again, this didn't happen at open. There was also a nice unmitigated 15 that we could have targeted along the way to the 4 hour. ES was printing pretty similar structure. I don't have this one marked out as well. This is actually not. Again, it's probably a bit messy. I don't even know if there's really a point in going over ES, but key level wise, I think I had this 30-minute intermediate term low, marked, and then I think we had a 15-minute, which is right here, 15 minute for value gap, which is kind of tiny, but it actually ends up being the key level that gets used on ES. Spoiler alert. Anyways, it's a bit messy right now, so I'm just going to go back to open. So again, there are all the key levels, higher time frame narrative in line. What do we get at open? Okay, well, we have this 15-minute fair value gap, which I am not happy taking anything out of, because again, I'm already compromising with this 30-minute and 1 hour. why would I compromise even further to a 15-minute, especially with, how I'm not that advanced yet. So what do we get off open? We basically manipulate higher, and again, kind of a little fake Judas, because what are we coming off of? Nothing. So again, the 930 candle prints a wick higher, and then it's going lower. But again, you're not, even though you're in line with the 930 power of 3, the wick that gets created at the top of the 930 power of 3 is not protected, because it's not actually coming off of anything. So again, I would like to see the PO3 manipulate lower, ideally again into these 30-minute and 1 hour, and then that be the protected wick of that power of 3. But anyways, we come into the 15-minute fair value gap, and I think the same happens on ES, and we get a 30-second, I believe, out of this. This is, again, structure-wise, it looks pretty good. You've got your low resistance. This high that went up at 9:30 open is just generating more highs on the way to our ultimate targets, which is the 4 hour way up here as our main DOL. So again, this 30-second is just not good in my opinion. I don't know if that's me coping, but again, I just don't see, like, how many points is it there to the 30-minute. Yeah, like that many. I don't know how many. But yeah, it's pretty close to the 30-minute. And you've got an hourly below as well. Like, this is so likely to be manipulated. I just can't see this ever really being a good trade. So yeah, I faded this and I didn't take it. So hopefully that was a good thing. We ended up just chopping like crazy for a bit. So I was kind of like, yeah, happy I faded that. We end up just exploding higher then, completely disrespecting this 15 minutes. So this becomes kind of irrelevant to me. And from here, I basically was switching to one of my other scenarios pre-market, which is that if we don't tap into any of these and we just start displacing way higher, I'm just going to look for a retracement into a continuation gap. Ideally a 15-minute minimum, because again, well, unless there was a 5 maybe around here, because this is technically sponsored coming out of the 15-minute fair value gap, but the higher we get, the more I just want it to be a 15-minute, just for certainty. So what do we get? We got this 15-minute. This was a little bit too far for me, since we're exploding so high. I just can't see it wanting to retrace, and if it does, like, I think we're going to dance around here and just end up going lower. But yeah, I definitely wanted a 15-minute continuation the second we hit this PM high, just because we've hit somewhat of a major DOL, that I just want a higher time frame gap to support any continuation higher here. I think so. Here was a bit iffy, I think, because we start opening up a 30-minute. What time is this? So this is 10. So yeah, I'm getting a little confused on the times, because there's a lot of higher time frame gaps opening at the same time. So then I think, yeah, we get this 30-minute. Then I was like, maybe I'll take a 30-minute continuation, which we do get really late, but again, it was just too late for me. But yeah, there was a stage where, again, here, I'm just going to bring it back. This is very messy, I do understand. But again, this is my first time just looking back at the chart since. So we have this 15-minute fair value gap, yes, which was formed, but there was also going to be formed a 30-minute. If I'm not mistaken. Yes. So ES taps in this 15-minute fair value gap. Nasdaq doesn't. This invalidates the trade for me because I do prefer to have true manipulation on my side at all times. Just because it's just, for me, I don't trust setups without it. And again, I'm more of a beginner, so I don't want to be compromising too much on my setups. So again, this wasn't valid in any way for me. And then we get the 30-minute, which gets tapped into, and I was off because I was just like, the chances of distributing this late in the session is just none. Even though we've edged this 4 hour, which again, if that happened earlier in the session, happy days, I'm just not taking this. So I'm just going to have a little look just to see, do we get anything off this? Clearly don't, just looking at the way ES distributed, but oh yeah, no, I didn't like this structure actually, because I was looking at this and to potentially take a trade, but look, it's just, there's no low resistance. I mean, up here there is, but immediately coming into the key level, it's just fall, fall, fall. There's no like accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and it's just catching a falling knife, if anything. Okay, now that would be a bit better there. Not really. It's just one swing highlight. That's not generated liquidity. So again, a bit of a pattern trade coming out of here. You would have either got break even or loss, and then it's just, I'd say, chop city for the rest of the session. Not really any point in reviewing it. But then again, that's basically my thought process. So it was just a big distribution day towards my DOL. Didn't actually end up hitting that 4 hour, which was very strange. But yeah, it was just about trading conditions. Again, at open, I had a few scenarios, which were all these key levels, but I was also with the devil's mark and the equal lows below. I was okay with taking potentially a continuation lower towards that if we got presented with it, maybe like a 15-minute or something like that. But then again, none of these got hit and we went higher. So then again, I was happy to take a continuation towards that, but none of that really ended up showing up. So yeah, a bit of a difficult day to navigate, but it was kind of simple at the same time, just nothing really formed. So yeah, I'm aware maybe I've probably missed a lot. I know within that 15-minute setup that happened at open, let me just review this a bit further. I'm aware that there was an SMT here, which technically counts as another manipulation leg. So if there was something within this, let's say like a 15-second or something, that would have actually been valid. I didn't take it. I don't think there was one, but I didn't take anything there because I actually just missed it. It's not because I wouldn't have. I probably would have if I actually knew that. Because that actually would have been a definitely an okay trade for me to have taken. Would have been valid. Actually would have been more than valid. So anyways, I'm not arsed going back on ES to see, but that's basically my thought process on the day. So if it's the trade of the day, I don't think so. So yeah, that's my thought process. A bit of a yap, a bit of a confusing day. I don't think a lot of what I said made too much sense, but I think just the main thing is just I got my bias right, pretty much, just from using respecting and disrespecting to kind of gauge what the current order flow is. Bearish being disrespected, bullish being respected. We're in this higher time frame monthly. We've got good structure, good low resistance up to the 4 hour. But again, I wasn't going to marry that bias. If we ended up moving lower towards this, then I would have thought, okay, another stop hunt in the monthly fair value gap, and just played the conditions. So overall, that's my thought process. If you enjoy these videos, I don't think anyone actually watches them. I'd be very surprised if they did, but again, it's just for my own journaling. Yeah, that's a fade day, and hopefully tomorrow will be better. Peace.